Hey guys, this is David here in Realtor Res, and I know it's been a while since I've released a video, but I am making one today. I'm out in the field about to do a house tour for Opendoor, and this is going to be one of the urgent or last minute tours. So it's going to be a $50 an hour tour. Of course, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've probably heard that Opendoor is changing their pay structure from an hourly pay to something more aligned to what Redfin does, which is paying by tour. And looks as if the overall pay might be going down for agents. We have to look and see, but it definitely does not look like it's very promising just with the numbers that they're showing. I can go over that later in the video a little bit and talk a little bit more about how I guess I feel about it. But for right now, I'm just waiting on the buyer to arrive. I'm currently at the house and just sitting here waiting. Thought go ahead and start a video since it's been a while and go ahead and get that running. So yeah. All right, guys. So I was gonna shoot videos throughout today, but ran into some issues with the tour that I started at, that you saw me sitting in my car waiting outside of the house. So today actually turned out to be a bit of a bust. So basically, what happened to me is something that tends to happen from now and again. My entire day ended up being cancellations. So the first cancellation that I had, which was that first house I was sitting there at, it turned out to end up being another agent using Opendoor to almost like as a secretary to schedule their tours for their customers. So while I was sitting there, the agent arrived and just went straight up to the house, and they were there by themselves. So I was like, you know what, when my the buyers arrive and I'm taking them in, I'll just let him know, I had the appointment, so on and so forth. Got a text from the buyer saying that they're running 15 minutes late. So I always try to get there early, usually by about 15 minutes or so. And so I was like, okay, well, that's fine. If his clients come up, I'll just go ahead and let them go in. And then when the buyer shows up for Opendoor, we'll just have to wait since they were late. Makes perfect sense. I kid you not, 15 minutes after our appointment was supposed to start, here pulls in a customer, and they get out, wave to the agent who's up there, and they go on in. I pull out my phone, I call, and of course I could hear their voices. And when they answered the phone, they just answered the phone, said, "We're not interested in the house anymore," and hung up. But the voice was the same. And this isn't the first time this has happened. It's happened several times. For some reason, people think, or agents think, it's okay to use Opendoor as a secretary. And unfortunately, it does happen from time to time that you'll get to the house, and I had to drive 2 hours to arrive at this house. So with Opendoor, you do a cancellation, because that's what it ends up being, a cancellation. They only pay you for 1 hour of work. So I sent an email to Opendoor requesting, like, hey, look, I got this this morning. I had to drive 2 hours out. I basically arrived and was able to set the appointment, and then I had to run out the house and get there to this house before the client did, for the schedule. And I barely made it, with my 15 minutes early that I usually am, so I could prep the house. But like literally when I was like maybe 5 miles away from the house, that's when I got the text saying they're going to be 15 minutes late. So anyway, so I had to cancel that. I requested to be paid the full amount since I was at the house sitting there waiting on the customer. So Opendoor just told me to go ahead, close it out, and we'll see if they, which way they pay it out. I did receive it as an urgent tour for a $50 an hour tour, but they might not try. They might knock it down to a 25 because that's what they usually pay for cancellations. So we're just going to have to see about that. Shortly after that, I received another request. This one was the normal pay, 25 an hour tour, and let's see here, looked up the information, submitted the request, and the agent called me back, said, hey, yeah, we're not doing showings until March, I think they said. So canceled that one out. Another one came through, well, after lunch, because we went ahead and stopped, and my wife was with me. We went ahead and stopped and had lunch. And then another one came through. That one also was a cancellation. And then another one came through later in the afternoon, about 4 or 5 o'clock today. And that one was also a cancellation because I guess there's a tenant in the house. They weren't letting anyone do tours until after they accepted the offer, and they allow tours during the due diligence. Now, since I am in the state of Georgia, Georgia is a, what's the term? Buyer beware state. Then, it's the due diligence phase is a real important part of the home buying experience. So they have till Monday to submit their offers. Most buyers I've dealt with, unless they are a management company, a property management company, they're not going to waste time with those, because those do end up being projects that need to be renovated and then flipped for profit. Anyways, I know I mentioned earlier as well that I was going to talk a little bit about the new pay plan that Opendoor is setting up. Now, I don't have all the numbers and everything. It just, like I mentioned before, they are going from paying, hourly, $25 an hour, and then $50 an hour for those urgent last minute tours, to a pay structure that is similar to Redfin. Now, Redfin, I mentioned before in my previous video how they paid, I believe it was $35 a tour. If you go during the day, that's before 5 o'clock in the afternoon, during the weekdays. And then I think it jumped to $65 after 5 o'clock, and then the weekends. Well, they're doing something similar with Opendoor. I think it's starting at 25, starting at 40. And then they're just adding $10 per house after the first one. It basically comes down to almost the exact same as Redfin was doing. There are some differences. I think they said that they are paying some mileage and travel, but it's definitely not going to be quite the same as it is now. So I like to, before casting judgment and just saying it's, how that it's horrible or something like that, I like to wait and see, go a paycheck or two with that pay scale just to see exactly how much it is affecting, my bottom line. Of course, Opendoor says it should average out because they've looked at the numbers. But from my perspective, it doesn't quite average out. But like I said, we'll see. And if it ends up being a lot more like with Redfin, then I may have to do the same kind of strategy I was doing with Redfin and only taking tours that are basically in my backyard, instead of what I was doing before and was like going out to these farther homes that are in the area. So like today, I drove, like I said, 2 hours, and 2 hours at the $50 rate, would have been a real nice pay. But if only doing that for, $40, definitely not nearly the same pay. So we'll see how it is. Like I said, I like to wait and see once I've received a couple of paychecks, pay periods gone through, which they are starting in March, halfway in March. So I think like the March 15th paycheck, or not March 15th paycheck, but on the March 16th to the end of the month, I believe it's going to be the new schedule. And then we'll see how it turns out. All right, guys, so that was this video. Again, I do apologize. It's been a minute since I dropped a video. I'm going to try and do more consistently, do a little bit more. Again, maybe show how I do my tours, and just kind of like what can be expected from doing this job from the Opendoor aspect. And I can, since I've done both Opendoor and Redfin, I can kind of do a compare and contrast a little bit. But things have changed a little bit as well, because it's been over a year now since I've started with Opendoor. Oh, almost a year now, but a year since I was with Redfin. And yeah, so be on the lookout for more videos. And of course, if you want to get the updates, click the subscribe button, like this video if you liked it, put a comment. I'm going to try and respond to any and all comments that are down below, and I might make the comments also in a upcoming video or something like that as well. I know a lot of people are asking about this new pay system with Opendoor, and how I've thought about it and how it looks like it's going to be in the future. Like I said, I like to wait and see, but it doesn't look as tempting as the $25 an hour. All right, guys, this is David with, my mind just went blank. Yeah. All right. This is David with Real Torres. Have a good one.